How's summer been?
Summer's been great.
Any, yeah,
Summer's been great. I can't complain. We've
yeah,
been busy. We bought a house. We're gutting the whole thing, so that's been a challenge on its own. But we have been really, really busy, so we're thankful.
yeah,
But it's from, making myself and my team lead gen, consistently. I think like, the hardest thing is to be consistent because as a real estate agent, just general, your day fluctuates so much. And obviously, like, yes,
mhm,
we can control it, but we just have to make sure we create those boundaries.
right.
Then real estate's real estate. And then you have your personal life, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
it's hard, right? But I think what's more important is making sure you guys do the hard stuff first. That is what we try to do at our team. I mean, every day is different, but we make sure that, whatever our goals are, they do happen.
yeah.
So I think, that is something that has helped us keep busy.
Do you
But
find, because I know, like, even talking to other agents, that it's again, self accountability. And even now, more so because it's the summer months, right? There's so
yeah,
much temptation out there that's outside of work,
yeah,
that they're finding themselves I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing because I keep
because
saying
it's nice
yes.
outside.
Yeah, and I keep saying yes to things that I shouldn't be saying yes to.
Yeah, I know what you
So
mean.
to stay on track for you guys have like a system in place where it's like, okay, regardless of, yes, I know we have some, there's stuff that obviously you can't, you're
Yeah,
obligated to, but when it comes
yeah,
to, let's say, a day where, it's not as busy with respect to being obligated to something like showings or, CMA, whatever it might be,
yeah.
do you have systems in place to ensure that, hey, regardless of what the day looks like, this is what we have to do, or we plug away right from like X, what time in the morning to whatever time to ensure that we're staying consistent and
Yes,
not,
I agree with you. I
yeah.
think that honestly, right now, more than anything, being a solo agent is hard because like unless you're okay to be by yourself and this is how I always tell realtors, solo agents who are in that between $0 to 125K, I feel like I feel like they're just kind of in just a site. I just lost what I was saying because it was so good. Sometimes that happens, right? It was so good that life didn't want me to share it yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I feel like it's really hard for you to be consistent because obviously, if you're doing 0 to 125 GCI, that means you're probably doing anywhere between, three to maybe five, seven transactions, depending on your purchase price, right?
Mhm.
So the hard part is that I find that, and I tell people, if you were a good student by doing, if you were a good student by doing, what's it called, independent course study, then being
Mhm.
an independent agent is perfect for you. I excelled at independent study because it's like I know what I need to get done. As soon as I get that done,
Mhm.
I'm done and I'm free, right?
Yeah.
So if you are not good at that and you are not good at mentally keeping yourself, on task, throughout your plan, doing your lead gen, doing the stuff that's going to get you business while still working on the business,
Mhm.
that is the hardest part in this business and especially in this
Yeah.
market. Because
Yeah.
in this market, what's been carrying us a lot too, obviously, is our online leads and all those things. But a lot of our past clients have been obviously using us again, and they've been our database has been working for us, and also we've been getting referred a lot. So
Mhm.
now it's like the marketing is starting to work, right? So
Mhm.
it just takes some time. But being on a team, I think the difference is that you have a leader, like myself, who is motivated every single day to get it. So when you're working with someone that's working hard, that's contagious because when you see someone get it, you want to get see someone get it.
Yes.
Like when you're in the office or you're with your friend and you're lead genning or whatever, and they come and said, "Hey, I just booked a CMA or whatever." Like that's the best. That's what you want. That's the energy you
Mhm.
want to be in because before you get into the call, it's about how your energy is. Because if your energy is
Mhm.
low, you're not going to book these things. You have to be
Yeah.
motivated. You have to be upbeat. You have to figure it out, right?
Mhm.
So I find that a lot, and I find that every year that solo agent pool is getting smaller and smaller because either they're getting out of the business because
Mhm.
it's not sustainable, or they're joining a team.
Yeah. I found personally, like years ago when I practiced real estate as a solo agent, I had to go to the office because as much as I could do everything from home, I just wouldn't do it. So I had to make it a daily routine to get up and like go into a bullpen, like just go, I get up and go, get up and go, and just go do what I had to do because then I know I'm actually in that mindset that I'm going to work.
Yeah,
Right. So, because yeah, at home, some of us have the ability to keep ourselves self accountable. But when we're
100%.
outside at home, there's every other thing that you're thinking of that you could possibly do or use as an excuse not to do what you should be doing,
100%.
right?
And you know what? That excuse that you have in your head to not do, that's the thing you should be doing. Because I find
Hmm.
that I'm sure that you guys have, I'm sure everyone here has saw a lead or whichever and didn't want to make that call, but they made that call, and that call ended up being one of the best calls they've ever had.
Hmm.
It happens to me all the time, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I built, having a team and building these programs and the coaching programs. I've been really like jotting my mind and just random thoughts and all that stuff. So I've really like learned a lot more of more of the things that I've been telling you guys, right? Because I know obviously it's about working and calling and doing all these things, making sure you're scripted. But I think like, what I've learned from my philosophy is that like people ask me all the time, what is my secret? And they want the perfect script, they want the perfect CRM, they want the perfect marketing plan, they want the perfect lead source, but the truth is really like everyone wants the secret pill, but the secret
Yeah.
pill is WORK, and there is no shortcut. There isn't a magic lead source. There isn't one conversation that changes everything. There are
Hmm.
thousands of conversations. That's why it's super important to do your prospecting and track not the outcome, but how many conversations you're having. That's what we're doing at our team because
Hmm.
it's not about, it's about finding out it's about having all these conversations, connecting with people and building the relationships, right?
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
there isn't one conversation that changes everything. Like I said, there's
Hmm.
thousands of follow-ups in terms of that. There's thousands of moments where you choose discipline over excuses, which really
Yeah.
spoke to me a lot when I thought about that. Because
Hmm.
like you said, how many times, right? Do you
Yeah.
want to do something and sometimes it doesn't happen? That's
Yes.
where you build a business. People think successful agents wake up one day with the phone never stop ringing. But what they
No.
don't see is that it takes years. It took years of me building relationships,
Years.
building contacts, asking questions, staying consistent, following up, and earning trust before the referrals ever came. The phone
Yeah.
rings because of the work I already did,
Yeah.
not because I got lucky.
I,
So
I truly believe if anyone was to sit down and do like a 90-day sprint for themselves, like create a 90-day work sprint and hold yourself accountable to every single day, making and having those conversations, prospecting, whatever it is, blogging, business building, and you actually did it, you'd be surprised at the reward that you would gain just from staying diligent with what you're doing for 90 days straight.
100%. And then also like, sorry, I just want to make sure, sorry. I also say like I also been telling my team, what I also believe. Like I believe great realtors don't take rejection personally. They're
Hmm.
not rejecting you. They're making the best decisions they know how to make today, right? Like we can all agree with that.
Yeah.
Our job isn't to convince everyone to work with you, right?
Hmm.
Your job is to become the obvious choice for people
Yeah.
who should.
Hmm.
And I believe great realtors carry pressure with smiles. I mean, I smile all the time. You guys know what it is.
Same.
Every transaction has
Yeah.
problems, right?
Hmm.
Every deal has obstacles. Every day brings decisions that affect people's lives. Your clients are borrowing your confidence.
Hmm.
That's my line that I came up with. They're borrowing
Yeah.
our confidence because, like we said, we take the pressure with a smile. But when shit happens or when buyers happens, your clients need to feel confident on the other end that you're
Hmm.
going to be okay. Like, you're going to the hospital. You want your doctor to say, dude, you're not going to die.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's what you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
So, because if you panic, they'll panic. And if you stay calm, they're going to they're going to believe
Hmm.
everything is okay. And that
Yes.
is leadership, right? So
Hmm.
I believe in instant gratification is one of the biggest reasons agents fail because we live in a world where everything is immediate. You scroll, you
Yeah.
get dopamine, you want to
Yeah.
order food, it
All
comes to your
those.
house in 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Entertainment, information, all the communication. Real estate doesn't work that way, guys. And
Hmm.
you don't get rewarded for today's work. You get rewarded months later after the relationship that you built. And the agents who learn to delay gratifications are the one that builds the best businesses,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
So, because I'm
Absolutely.
building a whole coaching program, and one of the things that I mean, not just me, I think everybody, is trust, right?
Hmm.
Trust is one of the biggest things, but I want to find what I wrote down because honestly, it's like a trust bank. Listen to how like this is crazy, right? After just reading my thoughts and all that,
Hmm.
the tr every client that you're working with, there's a trust bank. Okay, so picture a piggy bank, label that
Yeah.
trust. Okay,
Hmm.
imagine telling agents every client has a trust bank. Okay. Every promise you keep, right? So I'm going to follow up with you, money gets deposited. Okay. Every
Hmm.
follow up, money goes into the piggy bank, right? Every honest conversations, every good conversation, everything gets, money gets stuffed in the piggy bank.
Hmm.
But when you disappear, every time you disappear, money gets taken out. So your account either grows with people or you go bankrupt.
Hmm.
How fucking crazy is that?
Yeah, it's very, very
Right?
accurate. Yeah, it's a
So
very,
like so like my team, I've been creating like better ways for people to visualize how people see things because I
hmm.
feel that my competitive edge is like I don't talk so much about, real estate. Oh, this has to be X amount of square footage, or, I don't, it's not about that. It's about making people feel that you're the guy or the person to go to when it's time to make that decision. And the
Hmm.
only way you can do that is by obviously, being, great upbeat, building relationships, and just being a cool person, being you, be authentically you.
Hmm. Hmm.
Remember, we're not all going to be for everybody, and nor do we want every single deal. Like, yes, of course we do. But,
Yeah.
let's say you guys do 100 deals. Everyone's here is doing 100 deals. Your next deal at 101. If that next deal is not what you want, are you going to tell me you're going to say no to them? But if you did only one deal this year, you're
Hmm.
going to say yes to them, right? So
Yeah.
once you have confidence and you do deals, you now have more confidence to say no to people.
Yeah.
And when you say
Absolutely.
no to people, people listen because they're like, "What do you
Yeah.
mean you're telling me no?"
Yeah. I think how we, for a lot of individuals, it's, if we are desperate, I'm going to say they use the word desperate for
100%.
deals, the way we talk to people shifts, right? But when we are fine with the outcome either way, we don't need that, we could do without that transaction, then the tonality and how you communicate with people, your ability to reject individuals, it increases, right? So that
Yeah,
confidence level and what I guess what could be received on the other end is the confidence level from what they're hearing. They hear somebody that is confident, they're secure, they're what have you, and then they can hear the anxiousness, right? They can tell when you're trying to like push them for showings or push them for this or whatever it is. That will be received on the other end, which of course we all know gives any consumer the ick, right?
yeah,
We never want to feel like we're being pressured into something. We want to feel like we're being educated and guided.
100%. I totally agree with you on that. And I feel like
Hmm.
that's what everyone is. And I feel like, remember, everyone's trying to make the best decision for themselves,
Hmm.
right? Like it's not about you, it's about making sure that we're the best decision that they feel when it comes time, right? So,
Yes,
um,
absolutely.
So other than just
Absolutely.
like me giving you guys more philosophy, more mindset, more motivation, how have you guys been finding your calls? Have you been finding agent locator leads been active? I can tell you that our team already just closed two agent locator deals, and then we've been having. I know that my leads are getting active and clicking, book time, just do a showing, or they're
Hmm.
getting back, in any way, right? So I
Yeah.
see that people are definitely out there a lot more.
Okay. And while we wait on that, I know you touched base on focusing your team on conversations.
Yes,
Um, rather than calls, essentially, right? Because
yes,
we can make 100 calls but only actually have two conversations. So is there like a minimum that you're requiring your team to say, hey, every day we have to have at least five
sure.
meaningful conversations or 10 meaningful conversations, then you can be done for the day. But as long as we hit that 10 or whatever that number is,
Yeah.
then we're good because we know we're moving forward in the right direction, right?
Yeah. Actually, it's funny. So, what I've been doing is just kind of giving my team, some of points that I feel that is really important, right? And then I'm giving
Mm,
them lessons and challenges. So that's to go. I'm going to step back here. We basically do at least 20 to 25 conversations a day. That is what you need minimum. Because at the end of the day, right, that is going to get you at least 100 contacts a week. That's 400 people a month. You're telling me in 400 people a month, you're not going to get one deal, two deals. If you're
right.
actually working, cool. I don't think
Mhm.
maybe not in 30 days, but remember, that's 30 days. Now
Yeah.
imagine 90 days from now, right? So that's
Mhm.
1,200 contacts. You're telling me from your 1,200 contacts, you're not able to convert? Then if that's the case, you have a scripting problem. You have a scripting
Mhm.
problem. You're saying things, but generally my team's all good on that part. So
And
that is what we're
those
kind of doing.
and those conversations are those when you're counting that is that new conversations or
No.
conversations in general?
Conversations,
So
new leads, old leads, relationships, spheres of influence,
okay.
social
Hmm.
media.
Hmm.
Like we kind of
Okay.
have like our goals for phone calling, texting, and all those things. And then I feel
Hmm.
like social media is a little different because their goals are more bigger because I feel like it's easier to like you can text five people, you're done, right? So,
Yeah.
I've learned with social media, if you know that you're doing your social media right,
Hmm.
your thumbs have to be fucking hurting. Because
Yeah.
that means you're texting. That means you're texting for so long that your thumbs are
Hmm.
hurting. That means that you're lead
Yeah.
generating.
Yeah. You're doing something. And it's interesting there. I have um we connected to people's business pages just from
Of course.
previous of us with Facebook and our marketing team. And I get the notifications of the the messages that come in to different accounts. It's a
Right?
little annoying sometimes,
Yeah, I
but
get it. I get it.
um, but I can see certain individuals where they're constantly getting notifications to their business page. So they're doing something that's prompting people to send a message, send a message, send a
Yes.
message, right? I've never, obviously jumped over that line
Yeah.
of privacy. I've never looked to see what it is, but I get the little notification
100%.
if, whatever page,
Yeah.
has a new message
Yeah.
from kind of thing, right?
And
So,
also too, we try to find out, I don't mean to interrupt you, but we try to find
mm,
out in conversations if we can find them on social media because
mm,
if they're and then we follow them. I know it's people are like, wow, that's too aggressive. It's really not. All I'm trying to
mm,
do is be top of mind on their feed. So
yeah,
that when they're thinking of houses, when from us sending them, maybe they forgot about something, then they see us on there.
mm,
It gives us another way to do that. Also, we have retargeting marketing. So I mean, like,
yeah,
they're getting hit.
all of,
But you know what I'm saying, right? Like that's
mm,
what we're trying to do. Because
yeah.
when people think of real estate, we want to be one of the, the first, second choice, right? Because
Yeah.
then we're already top of mind. But
And if
going
you
back,
follow those people, so just as a side note for you guys with
yeah,
social media pages, like business pages on Facebook, if you follow them, if like what Nick is saying is if you follow that person, you're now increasing the chances that they're going to follow you back, right?
hmm
They're gonna, like I say,
hmm
who is
hmm
this? Send you a
hmm
friend
hmm
request or whatever, and they're gonna
hmm
add you, and then they're gonna see. You're not only are you going to be able to see their life kind of thing, who these
yeah,
people are, but they're going to be able to see everything you're doing with respect to social media
yeah,
as well on Facebook. So you're
yeah.
increasing your like audience as well at the same time.
Yeah, no, 100%. And remember, like, and that's why it's important for your real estate page not to be buy, sold, listed. Like your Instagram page needs to be something that looks like, wow, I want to click on that square. And like you need to show like it's not about real estate, it's about like who you are. So you show more of
Mm-hmm.
like your personal side because that's how people connect with you. Remember, we're in the business of real like relationship. So like, what goes further, a message or someone seeing what you're doing that they enjoy that
Mm-hmm.
now, they want to continue and watching you, right? Like I mean, that's all it is. So yeah, but I would love to know like where are you guys at? How's Agent Locator for you guys on the last couple weeks?
Yeah, what are you guys finding with your leads right now? If the activity is increased, if people seem to be answering the phone a little bit more, maybe they're not.
You guys are quiet. We're giving you
Mm.
all this great information.
And perhaps if any of you guys are doing something unique on your own to kind of keep yourself accountable and doing different outreaches. We'd love to hear what those are as well,
Yeah.
because we're all in it to win it.
Okay,
Uh,
Diora.
fun.
So
Yes.
yeah, so I would just keep I feel like the last week was I mean, obviously we did transactions, but I felt like from what we saw, like we didn't see a lot of more inquiries. But it's also hard because I feel like everything's week by week now based on the weather because people are like summer now. People are doing their thing, right? So it's
Mhm.
kind of hard, right? But you have to just keep lead genning. People are out there. Um, Kevin, yeah, that's great that you're following up with leads, which is good. Yeah, I know they don't call back, but sometimes, honestly, all it is convenience, right? Because they might just message
Mhm.
you to see something. So I'll tell you a win that our team member got. So this agent sold this person's house. Cool, great. They were looking with that listing agent, but then our team member reached out to them based on convenience. They wanted to see the house, wasn't signed. Saw the house put an offer and they got it for seven something. No, eight. I think it was 825 or something like that. So
Mhm.
what I'm trying to say is that like, and then the eight, obviously the listing agent was pissed, but it goes to show that like people are doing things for themselves. So you have to be on top of people, and that's why online leads and agent locator is great because you get those extra deals if you are working them,
Mhm.
right? That's like a 16 grand paycheck.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, or more, sorry, 800, 816. It's like 19 grand.
Mhm.
So, um, anyways, so those are things, right? And I would
Yeah.
like to know, like, how are you following up with people that are not answering? Like, what are you guys doing? And I think it's about being a little different and bringing
So,
value.
yeah, and Kevin, you said you're doing door knocking and having success there. I love door knocking. A lot of people hate it, right?
No, door knocking is great.
Because it's like the best way to build an initial relationship with somebody. And if you're consistently door knocking a specific area, whether it's quarterly or at least 3 times a year,
Yeah,
you're hitting these places up, like you're just building that relationship and having good, genuine conversation with individuals. Um, some hit, you do it consistently. Awesome. Is there anything that you're doing specifically on those? Are you offering the street match? Because that's something that we encourage
yep,
everyone to be
yep,
doing, is to be, getting people on that street match, that nosy neighbor.
yeah,
Awesome. Yeah. So it's a great way. And even if you leave something at the door for anyone that else is watching, is have a QR code on something that you're leaving that it's easy for them to sign up for the nosy neighbor as well, so that even if you don't hit them when they're home, leave a little something. Doesn't have to be anything fancy, right? A lot of you guys
100%.
have business cards. Have a QR code on the back of your business card,
Yeah,
something that makes it very easy for individuals to sign up for these things,
yep,
right?
yep. I agree with you. We door knock our listings this year.
Hmm.
We've been circle prospecting and we've gotten a lot of extra listings from it.
Hmm.
So it's great. Obviously, if you don't have listings, it's still great to go out there and build relationships. Just bring something of value. And this is the thing, you don't know who you're gonna talk to that needs your help right now. Because like
Hmm.
there's gonna like the thing is everyone thinks about lead genning being so like, oh, rejection, rejection. But like guys, you're trying to find people that are ready to buy and sell right now.
Hmm.
So I mean, it takes time, but I mean, there's a lot of people out there. If you want to live a good life, you just need to do 20 transactions, whether that's 20 individual people or 10 buys and sells,
Hmm.
right? So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to,
You can
you
reverse
only,
engineer it too, based off of, knowing how many calls it takes or how many conversations you have. Like, so to make it to one appointment. So that's
yeah,
really, sitting down. I need to do this many phone calls in order to have this many conversations. I need to have this many conversations in order to have this many booked appointments. And out of my booked appointments, I need to have X amount of booked appointments to have X amount of signed agreements. So, doing that reverse engineering kind of, is a great way to kind of set that goal, that pace for you to say, hey, I want to do, you know, 24 transactions a month. What do I need to be doing, or a year, sorry, a month. Let's say I want to do 24 this year. What does that look like on a day-to-day basis if you reverse engineer it?
Yeah, exactly that. I also feel that like you only start really believing in what you're doing until it starts working, meaning until you start getting the first listing signed and it's closed, and then you see the money in your bank account. Once you see the money in your bank account, now you're even more motivated because it's like, okay, this actually works and I can
Hmm.
actually make money from it, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like until you start connecting the lines of getting a successful transaction from whichever lead source you are, that's when it becomes like, oh, okay, this is what I need to do now, and now it becomes easier. And now it
Yeah.
becomes fun because now it's like, okay, just
Hmm.
like what you're saying, I have to go through X amount of people to get, the X amount of yeses to get the X amount of money.
Hmm.
So,
Absolutely.
you know, but I think like at the end of the day, it's all about doing, like everyone knows this. It's about going out and doing it. So the
Hmm.
hardest part is about staying consistent. Like I said, most of the stuff that I talk about is not even real estate. It's about mindset, you know,
Hmm.
getting you like, groomed into a standard to make sure that you're scripted. And the standard is like, you're a vibe, meaning that like you
Hmm.
look like a vibe. It doesn't mean you have to wear expensive clothes. It just means that you're put together.
Yeah.
You're someone, when I say a vibe, it's someone that you see. Okay, picture this. Have you guys have always been on a street somewhere and you guys see someone and you're like, wow, I really want to talk to that person. I'm not talking about like dating or anything. I'm just talking about
Yeah.
like, wow, for
Kind of
some
sparks
reason,
some interest. Yeah.
I'm feeling that person's energy. I need to know who that person is.
Hmm.
That is what you want, especially when you're lead genning. So you want to be
Hmm.
a vibe. That's what a vibe is to me, where you're like perceived differently, where someone feels your energy and they want to connect with you. So once you
Hmm.
already have that, that's more than half of it. Okay. Then you just need to have your scripts. You need to know what you're saying. And then you just got to ask questions and then
Yeah.
close.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How we select areas for door knocking, great question. So usually we look at an area. Like I think personally, it depends on your goal. I think everyone wants to do detached houses and all that, which is great. But remember, the end users there don't really move often, right? So I would be looking at more turnover. So first time sellers. So that's attached homes, semis, condo townhouses if you can. Those are bread and butter because those are the listings you want now, anyways, because they're going to sell, right?
Hmm.
Especially if you hold offers, they're going to sell. So I would go based on high turnover. However, how do you find, okay, once you find a high turnover spot, how do you kind of figure out, if that's the area? I look at the sales in the last year, maybe the last 2 years. And if there isn't one agent dominating, meaning like doing at least 40% of the leads there, right?
Hmm.
Then I would pick another place to start planting seeds to make them grow.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I think it's like a 6 to 10%, I think 6% minimum turnover. And you want to definitely make sure there's no agent in that area that's dominating it. Um,
Just because, I mean, doesn't mean that you're not going to dominate it. I mean, we've
no,
definitely
it's just
taken
gonna be
away
harder
market share.
to,
It's
right?
just
You're,
an uphill battle a little bit because people
mhm.
are always going to remember that person. Or
Yeah,
if anything, when you have that CMA, they're definitely bringing that person in. And, if you're not on point with that or whichever, then that's harder. Also,
yeah.
too, that agent might just connect, might want to discount their service a little bit just to have another sign on the lawn so people know that they're the person there. So, I mean,
Yes.
you got to kind of like, I know that happens all the time, but it's more of a pull. Like if I did 6, 7 listings on one street but this is the thing, if I'm going there and I've already done 6, 7 homes successfully, if anything, I'm raising my commission because I know that I have it.
Yeah.
Not like know that I have it that way, but I know like, there's confidence there. Comes back down to confidence.
Mm-hmm. 100%. And closer to home also, right? So
Yeah.
if you can find, like, even in your own neighborhood, your neighbors should know what you do, right? Because who's most vested in the value of those properties is you as a homeowner in that neighborhood, right? So that's one way, everything about it. So when you do get at one of those listings, you know the exact commute times, you know what schools are there, you know everything about that area to prospective buyers that are walking through as well.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm just
So,
trying
tools that
to.
I'm using for searching such areas, I mean, not really. You're just kind of going based on the product that you
Mhm.
know. There. Just search in your area, search at certain high, like you have to spend time, doing homework, right? So, you
Mhm.
know, So you just have to kind of look in and around different communities. What is high turnover? What kind of products do you want? It's always nice to go with something newer, like less than 15 years,
No.
because like there's turnover there, there's some equity, their newer homes are a little bit more easier to sell, but you know,
Hmm.
I
I'm
think
putting in
more,
the group here as well, some PDFs that I have put together from a different program. The one that I just shared now in the group that is launching your farm. So that again kind of goes over the different things as to, finding those neighborhoods, different ways that you could be prospecting and advertising your street match in that farm, that sort of thing. And
super
then
nice.
this next one here is mastering door knocking. So those are you guys, you can download or copy
Yeah,
those to
I'm
your
looking at it right
drive.
now. It looks pretty nice.
So different resources and tools and links in there for you guys.
Yeah. I think what is the one roadblock anyone has here?
Regis, there's no features in the CRM. That's something you'd pull from the board. The board would be able to pull that information up. And
Yeah,
if not, your broker will be able to pull up like the agents, like they can pull up a different list than you have access to. If you go to
exactly.
your, yeah, if you go to your broker and just let them know I want to do this, and and I'm sure they're going to assist you in doing that.
Right? So, what is one roadblock that you guys find that you are kind of always challenging yourself to get through, whether that's lead genning or any part about being in real estate? You guys are quiet today. Time management. Okay. So, Marcelo, so time management. I feel like that's everybody as well.
Hmm.
Do you know? I think the question is everyone here, do you know what your schedule is or what you're doing when you wake up? Like you're going to work today. What's your schedule? Do you know what you're doing? And I think that's half the
Hmm.
battle, especially when you don't
Hmm.
do like, high transactions, not saying, but I'm just saying because like then you get out of routine of like what is normal, what is something that, you're supposed to be doing, what is the lead source that is getting you more business? Like I mean, with real estate, you're always improving, your either your CRM, your marketing, you're doing this, you're doing that. So I feel like having a business is like having your own like ISA project. It just is something that you always continuously just keep building and building on.
Hmm. I think too is time blocking your calendar. It can be like go in your calendar and create those events, like color code it. You can print off and do it, whatever it might be, where it's like different time blocks, or it's like this is my lead generating time, whether I am calling leads from my database, whether I'm door knocking, that's when I'm doing my lead gen. And move it like different times out the week and what have you. But that's like a non-negotiable. So when I used to work as part of a team, that time block that was non-negotiable. So unless
Right.
somebody, that was the only time they could go look at a house, that time was off limits, right? So you try to
100%.
book people off of that time. It's just like if your family time, right? If it was your son's birthday, that time, like that's not even negotiable. Someone wants to go look at a house during that time, you're not available.
Yeah,
Right. So it's kind of treating like that and holding your own self of like being diligent with this is my calendar. This is when I'm available. This is when I'm not available. And suggesting times. So directing people to, hey, so how about this? We go take a look at it, 7 o'clock tonight. I have 7 o'clock or this time or whatever. Showing people and taking control also helps to build the confidence with them. If we're always flexible and
100%.
doing whatever, jumping and bending over whenever they're asking us and always being available, for when they're going to most likely overstep boundaries. And when you do kind of all of a sudden something shifts and you're not available, they take it a little bit differently.
100%.
but it builds, then you can be able to stay consistent with your game plan. Like, this is my family time. So from, 4:30, let's say, to 6:30 at night, this is when I sit, I'm home, I'm with my family, I'm eating. I can't do it. It's really a non-negotiable time. I can do showings after, unless it's absolutely, that's the only time that that person's available to go look at something, or, have a seller sit down for a CMA, then that's different. But otherwise, we're trying to work and navigate around those selected time slots.
Yes, exactly. So, so I want to touch on this actually. So yeah, so obviously a lot of people who bought before 2020 are sitting on some equity. Obviously longer than that, they're sitting on more if they haven't refinanced, the whole house, right? So I find that the hardest part is that people, even who have equity on sitting on free and cash, the problem is that still things are like still the same kind of, how am I going to say this? It's kind of like the same, obviously more, but it's kind of like a lull for them because they have like, let's say $1 million, but what they want to buy is 800,000, right? So
Mm-hmm.
now they get stressed about the 150K left because that's not enough money that they were hoping to retire and still be cash free.
Mm-hmm.
So that is more of the problems that I feel we're running if they don't have more of like a parachute, right? Like if they haven't saved or whatever, whatever. I understand life is
Mm-hmm.
tough. So I find like that is a harder objection to work through. But for most people we find and we're working with, like they actually have some really good equity and some savings. So they're okay to
Mm-hmm.
do these moves. But to ask yourself, you have to kind of figure, okay, so what are they looking for? Are they looking to downsize? Does that mean they want a bungalow? Okay, in your area, where are bungalows? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of figure out areas that are bungalows and go door knock and see if you can do an off-market deal or try to get the listing.
Yeah.
I mean, really, that's all you can do, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I would just be sending them listings to get them out, and then get their house sold. That would be more valuable on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, you know, if you want to try to find people 15, 20, like that's been in there for a while, I think you don't do geo. You can just go through Treb and kind of see, but then I feel like you're just wasting your time because what, you're going to go through hundreds just to see if people have
Mm-hmm.
equity. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
fine. How are you going to have a conversation with them? So
Yeah.
I think there's just a lot more to that. Anyone else? What are some troubles that you guys are facing, whether it's scripting, whether it is time management, consistency? Wow, you guys are tired today.
Uh,
Well, buyer or seller? Because if I'm a seller and I do a CMA, sorry, I just my phone's blowing up. Um, A buyer. So buyer. What I do is basically on the phone, talking to them, figuring it out, figuring out, asking them questions, figuring out their search. After I figure out their search, chatting with them with a little bit more market information and then any questions. And then from there, I'm asking if they have a pre-approval in place, or any of that stuff. And if they don't, I'm sending them to our mortgage broker or whoever is going to deal with the mortgage, right?
mm-hmm.
So that's kind of when I would do that. When I'm at a CMA, obviously when we're doing the house and I'm doing the home assessment and we come down to the after the presentation and after the value, after I tell them the value, I always ask, how much mortgage do you have?
Mm-hmm.
I do this because of a few things. One, if they want a bridge mortgage, if they have no financing, like no mortgage, they're going to have to do it a different way because the bank's not going to bridge traditionally that way.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, I also want to make sure that they're good, right? Like they have equity because remember, you're an advisor. You're asking questions to get all the pieces, putting the pieces together, and then showing them the story of where they need to go.
Mm-hmm.
That's best for them.
Yeah. And it's different ways as well when you're talking to them. It's just curious, like when you're discussing price points, right? You could be asking, just curious how'd you come up with this price, right? This price range. They'll tell you if they
Yeah.
had at that point, they're gonna say that. And another question is, okay, are we looking, or whether they're renting currently or own a home with a mortgage payment, it could be, is the goal to stay within like your same monthly payment? or is there flexibility there? Okay, great. If there's flexibility, it goes, so what does that look like? And have you talked to somebody about that? Because that's going to give us the exact purchase price based on where you currently are, whether you have equity or you're renting, what that price point actually looks like to stay within that monthly payment.
100%. So I would just try to, in my opinion, I would try to rephrase payments and all that stuff
Hmm.
because I'm not the mortgage person and I might give
Hmm.
wrong information that might shoot me and now they want to use someone else because I said something
Yeah.
wrong. We
Yeah.
have to remember that like also too, like even though you're not saying anything wrong and you're, like it's like someone saying, "Hey, how are you?" Right? Like just depending on how that person takes that is how they're
Hmm.
going to move forward, right?
Yeah.
So I just think that's something to really keep in mind. Okay, our OG Kevin over here. I block time. That's best. Totally understand that. Exactly, exactly. They say no and don't need to do that. I recommend mortgage broker and contact, but do not call. I'll have them exactly. So I do the same thing. Basically, I totally understand that people are earlier. So before I go through over some of my scripts, if someone tells me right now, and I want someone to come up here and role play here. But if someone tells you I'm the lead, hey, you know what? I'm not ready to have a mortgage broker yet. Thanks, but I'm not ready yet. You guys are tired. Um, is cold calling still worth majority? I mean, anything works. That's the thing. What I was telling you. Everyone wants to try to find the secret pill. There's no secret pill. You pick your poison, you pick your lead gen, and you continue to work it. The question Santosh, I want to ask you, how many conversations, honestly, are you having a day? How many conversations are you having a day?
Kevin's asking a question. He's asking them or answering, saying, ask them what their motivation is when
Okay,
they're looking to
two to
move.
three is way too low, bro. That is not even part-time hours. That is way too low. So you need to bump that up 10 times each, right? Cold calling, remember, cold calling is one of the harder ones because it's rejection all the time, right? We don't want to cold call, right? This is why Agent Locator is a great lead source, everyone, right? Spend your money on Agent Locator, and instead of you cold calling random people, why don't you get ads for people to come onto your website in the area that you're targeting? When they come in, have a script to chat with them. That's all you need to do, right? If you don't have a budget, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why people get into a business without being funded. I understand it's hard, guys. Don't get me wrong, right? But you got to put the money in. Like every time, especially in the beginning, and I still do now, every time I get paid, I don't take it free and clear. I invest it all back into the business. You have to keep spending, putting, when you want a fire, right? You
Hmm.
keep putting wood in. Wood is your currency. You keep putting wood in to keep the fire going. Okay. New online leads not picking up means that your timeline's not good, or you're not giving them, I would start messaging them. I would start sending them better emails. You just have to keep doing your thing, right?
You have to
Um,
call daily and be consistent, right? So the first call attempt you have on any given person, you have about a 5% chance they're going to answer that call. They're going to pick it up.
yes.
Right? And so if you're calling daily and you have filters in your system, that's your second priority. If you keep calling them every single day, most of them will pick up by the sixth to eighth call attempt. If you're doing it daily, they start to recognize your phone number. So if they're not picking up the call, you need to call back. And just call back and call
Yeah.
back and call
Yeah.
back. Most people give up after one or two, maybe three call attempts. So be
100%.
better than most people and you'll find success.
Mhm. You know what? I talk to our team and even myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is we usually don't really get further until like the sixth or eighth time chatting with, like trying to call them.
Let's call them. Yeah. And then even after that initial conversation, it's going to take about, anywhere from 5 to 11 follow-up calls to get them to where you want them to be, to the point where they're willing to meet you, or
100%.
again, to the transaction point. So
100%.
the follow-up is key. It's there. It's like it's a lot of calling, but when you kind of break it down as to how much time you're spending on that, it's very minimal per
Yeah.
person, for the payout that you're going to receive for it.
Think of the piggy bank.
Hmm.
Every lead is a piggy bank. Every time you choose to miss following up or calling that person, that's money taken out of the bank account. And once it gets to zero, why are they going to call you? Because you haven't invested anything into them. That's how you see the piggy bank. It's not money, it's an investment in the person,
Hmm.
right? So Kevin, because he's our superstar, ask them for their motivation and when they're looking to move. Cool. Those are great questions. But
Yeah.
questions that I would do would be like, okay, totally understand you're not ready to chat with a real, with a mortgage agent. Curious, is there a certain reason why you don't want to? Like we can role play. Crystal, we can role play if you're
Hmm.
okay with that.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
like I said, you'll be the lead, right? I'll
Okay,
just be the realtor here.
sure.
So yeah, what would happen? What would need to happen? Or sorry, let me step back here. Why would you feel that you're not, you don't want to connect with a mortgage professional?
Well, we're at least, I'm gonna say, maybe like 9 to 14 months out from being able to do anything. So I just don't feel like it's,
Yeah.
important right now.
Yeah. So I totally get that. Most clients feel the same way. However, in real estate, planning is power, and that's how you do win in real estate. And actually, I don't know if you know, but mortgage brokers love to chat with buyers like you who are so far out because let me ask you a question. If there was a way for you to, either get a higher deposit sooner or a better rate sooner or, one of these things, wouldn't that motivate you to kind of look into that information sooner?
But yes,
Right?
yes.
Even though you're not ready or you may not feel ready, there's been times where
Hmm.
so many of our clients feel that way, and actually they're just around the corner. They just didn't know they were. So
Hmm.
I feel like that may be where you're at, and I would love to show you a little bit of ray of sunshine,
Hmm.
just to show you that there's a little bit of ray of hope, right
Hmm.
there, right? So let me connect you with my mortgage broker. He'll just reach out to you. Remember, it's just an honest conversation. There's not going to be any craziness, hard conversations. It's just going to be finding where you are and what path is best to serve you to get where you want to go.
Okay.
So that's pretty much it.
Hmm.
Like that's pretty much how I would go through that conversation. Obviously, Crystal's
Hmm.
just trying to role play here, right?
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
mean, if you have someone that's actually thinking about that, me saying that line to them would be, where they would go. What is powerful about the way that I piece it together? What is powerful about the way that I piece that together? You guys need to get some coffees or
Hmm.
teas or matchas. Because, bro, if this is how you guys respond, no wonder you guys are not closing as many leads as I am. Holy.
I think it's, from that conversation, it's really, again, is giving them insight that's powerful of, again, you use that word hope, right? So a lot of individuals don't realize where they're actually at in the buying process, and you might actually be closer than you think, or what you're looking for, might actually be right there when you think it's over there, right?
Yeah,
So educating someone so that they know where they're at now in order to get to where they want to be, right? So it creates that
exactly.
game plan as well. So for some individuals, that would be, a spin that you could take is like knowing where you're at now gives you kind of a path or a roadmap to know exactly what you need to be doing in order to get to where you want to be. And for some, it might be sooner rather than later, sooner than
100%.
expected.
And didn't you see like the way that I was saying it, right? I didn't talk about a house. I didn't talk about a
Mhm.
detach. I didn't talk about anything. All I was just saying
Mhm.
are words to communicate the way. So sorry. I'm using words that is allowing my prospect to mentally picture where they are going to be. That's the difference that I'm doing and getting further with the leads.
Mhm. Getting them
Because, like I said,
excited. Mhm.
and I use this word a lot, this phrase a lot. just like Scotiabank, you might be richer than you think, right? Like
Hmm.
you don't really know, right? And I feel
Yeah.
like people like that's an easy lean in to talking to people
Hmm.
about that. Um, so I feel like personally, I feel like personally it's just about like I said, I forgot what I was gonna say. All the good things, man. They don't just stay in my head. But it's just doing these things, right? It's about like
Yeah.
speaking words that allow them to picture where they want to be, and that's it,
Yeah.
right? Like I don't know if like I don't know. I'm just speaking Nick, right? So either you get it or no. So okay,
Hmm.
after one, two showings, if we ask to sign a BRA and they don't sign it, is it work working with them? I think that like honestly, I don't really do these type of approaches, meaning like if I'm showing someone houses, I'm showing someone houses. I'm not gonna get things signed because I know they're exclusively working with me. Because remember, what is implied relationship? If my prospect or my client is texting me back, texting me, hey, I want to go see these properties like that they're working with you, right?
Hmm.
And now when we're saying that we're working together and now I'm saying like, hey, Crystal, I know we're working together, but can we just like sign this piece of paper to say that we're working together?
Hmm. It kind of gives an ick.
Doesn't that feel weird?
It
Doesn't that feel
feels
weird?
weird. Yeah,
Right?
it does.
However, I do get them signed if I know that they're working with agents. They're
Hmm.
two different, those are two different categories. Right? Oh, peace gives the balloons.
Yeah.
So, two different categories, right? And scripting goes like, "Hey, Crystal, totally understand. I understand and respect that you're looking with other agents. I think that you should. There's so many agents out there that it's really important to feel that you feel you connect with and who's going to get you the best, the best value on what you're
Hmm.
looking for." Um, oh my God, my mind just went blank. What's wrong with me today? I think I need more tea and coffee.
Yeah.
Um, I know, right? However, sorry. So, however, if you choose to work with us, what we can do is, what we like to do is I understand that you're looking with someone else, which is totally cool. However, what we usually do is that if you want to go look at properties with us, you will have to sign something saying that you're committed to us on those properties, right?
Hmm.
This is showing that this is kind of a test run, showing you how I operate, and this is basically saying that every property that we go to, you're attached to me on those properties. So
Hmm.
if you feel that I'm not the right fit, I'm not locking you down on paper. You can go anywhere else and try someone else. And that's kind of how the approach I'm going. My scripting on that was absolutely terrible. That's not actually what I say. It's way better in game time, but that's pretty much the framework.
Yeah. Yeah. If you, yeah, definitely. If you know that they're kind of just like not committed, but they're just kind of going from agent to agent, 100% get those BRI signs for each
Yeah.
property you're
Yeah.
showing them.
And
But
and
if
if they
they're,
don't sign it, then that means they're already signed with somebody.
mhm.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you,
Yeah,
Crystal. I just want to
no,
relay
no,
that.
that's a good point. That's a good point to make. Yeah, but if you
Because
feel confident, if someone's conversation, like, back and forth with you and that communication is there, you're always on the phone or emailing or texting, the chances of them hopping ship and going elsewhere is fairly slim,
100%.
right?
100%. And I think that, like I said, people use people based on convenience and like trust, right? And that's the beautiful part about these online leads is because most
Hmm.
people, sure, everyone knows realtors, but the question is how many people trust their realtor? It's not about how many people you know. How many realtors do they trust? And
Hmm.
that's where you want to be. Because when everyone tells me that script, I always go, hey, listen, totally understand. But let me ask you a question. Well, how many realtors do you trust? Then it makes it different. And now you already look like, who the fuck is this person?
Hmm.
Right? Like, I want to work with this person because what are they doing? They're borrowing your confidence. I'm telling you,
Hmm.
I speak fire.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think other than that, what I would take away from here is just focus on relationships first before revenue.
Hmm. Yes.
Relationships will carry you.
Yes.
And remember,
100%.
agent locator leads, online leads are 3 to 18 months out. So
Hmm.
just like anything, you know, you put effort in today, it doesn't show until later on.
Yeah.
That's
True.
what true growth is.
Hmm.
True growth. Anything that comes up from here to 100 like this is usually does not last.
Hmm.
And I can tell you something personally in my story. Being a newer agent 10 years ago, I remember looking at the leaderboard. I remember like, oh my God, I just want to be at the top. And it took me so long to get there. But the people who had like great success for 1 or 2 years and doing crazy numbers, they fell off year three, four, five, and six because of
Mm-hmm.
consistency, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I always went like this. So now I'm at the
Mm-hmm.
top, but now I'm fucking giving it. Now I'm just like
Mm-hmm.
popping wheelies because now our systems are in line. We have the right players
Mm-hmm.
here. We have the right people. We have the right team. We have the right
Yeah.
support, the right vendors. Everything now is there because it's building those foundation blocks. Every day I put blocks
Mm-hmm.
just built.
Yeah.
So have faith.
Absolutely.
And that's
And
it.
time block yourself. Block your
Yes.
calendars.
Yes. That's the hardest part.
Hold yourself accountable. Create a daily plan. You can
Yes.
do every day like your four must-dos. Like there's no non-negotiable four things you need to do each day for your business. Write them down, even the night before. Because if you tell yourself the night before what you need to do the next day, you're more likely to do it rather than sit there in the morning and be like, here are so four things I should do today. But if you kind of set your mind the night before and then just check them off your
100%.
list.
100%. 100%. Any questions before we let you guys go for the day? Any last questions to pick my brain? Any last questions? Okay, I'm gonna leave you guys with so
Well,
I've been doing like challenges and lessons with my team. I'm gonna leave you
mhm.
guys with today's lesson. Okay. A great lesson I learned a long time ago was clients rarely remember you for your market stats. They always remember how you made them feel. So today's lesson, kindness is a business strategy. Today's challenge, leave someone feeling better after speaking to you today. That is your challenge today. Little Business 101. It's how you make people feel. FEEL.
Mhm.
So think about that. I hope everyone has a great day. Santosh, you
Mhm.
just got a call, buddy. There's no best times. Just pick up the phone and call when you're available. That's it. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great day. Crystal, any last
Yep.
remarks? Any closing
No,
thoughts?
I think that's it. I think we covered a lot of great things. And it's really just being consistent with what we're doing, managing our time, and having good conversations.
Yes. You guys are all going to crush it. Time to make some money and time to make the phone be on fire. Okay.
There we are. Awesome. Thanks, Nick.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone, for jumping in. Bye.
Bye.